Everything that you knew, everything that you thought, everything that you thought that was in existence regarding this country is over. Joe Biden is public enemy number one, and he is telling you, F you and everyone else. F you. He does what he wants. The Biden criminal cartel remains unscathed and untouched. Let me say this again. Let me just tell you again. And you become used to it. You're not reacting to it anymore. You're saying, well, that's the way it is. Well, he'll never be charged. Well, that's the way it is. No, you don't understand this. This is like nothing else in any other country. Look at, was it Imran Khan in Pakistan and others? It's overkill to get people. There was a time when we were after Nixon, when we used to go after people. There was the notion of people stepping down, fearing impeachment. The only one they're after is Trump. Trump's blowing this one too, maintaining some kind of, I guess, lasting power or staying power with the Republicans. In any event, it's over. It's over. We can pretend all we want. We can talk about this stuff, and this is what most people do. It's nonsense. It is an absolute, this is just gobbledygook. This is zero. The world is falling apart like you can't believe, and there's no end in sight. Let me say this. No correction, no nothing. There's no good news here. And we can pretend, and I can talk about stuff, and I can tell you, well, we're going to do great. No, 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 no. Israel is off the charts, and it's not about Israel. It's about the end of our collective civilization. I am telling you, this is going to be the end, the change. This is going to be the likes of which you have never even understood. I read something the other day, and I forget where it was. Someone says, do you think that this could affect Joe Biden's reelection? He's not going to run. I've been telling you this. It's Gavin Newsom. But your mainstream media are under a stranglehold. Fox News has abnegated. They have someone on who can't speak English. I'm going to leave it at that. It's like nobody sits there and says, wait a minute, hold it. Forget hair and makeup. How about remedial English? You're using the wrong tense, the wrong pluralization. Dear God, no matter where you go, no matter what you think it is, I am telling you right now, this is the end of civilization. At every level there is. There is good news, though, but people aren't going there. The good news is that there are news sites and news platforms, and they're international. They're not necessarily civilian anymore. Even the same people are repeating the same nonsense. If I see this stupid story about these people stealing candy on Halloween, what is this? It's called junk food. It's something that satisfies the initial cravings of people. The world that we know it. If I were to ask you, what do you think is happening right now? If the Houthis come in, what happens? Just ask anybody. Ask anybody. See if they'll say, I don't know what you're talking about. We are a country that revels in ignorance. We love it. And the more loud the pronouncement of the platform, the more conservative, the more whatever you want to call it, the worse it is. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Get ready, friends. I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, oh my God. I sit and I read and I listen and I think, oh my God, it's horrible. It's like I'm at the highest perch. I'm at this fire, I guess, ladder, and I'm looking around and I see nothing but fires coming in. And I'm looking at the campers, but I'm thinking, they don't know this. They don't see this. Do you understand? American primacy is over. The unipolar world where the America that you grew up in, it's over. It's done. It's finished. Do you understand this? Do you understand this? No. It's going to be too late. One of these days, it's just going to just happen. And then you'll go to the same regular folks and they will tell you what needs to be done. Step number 1, Biden has got to be removed, indicted, and imprisoned. The level of corruption that he has exhibited is by far worse than anything ever imagined. Let me say this again. Maybe Lyndon Johnson was kind of close, sort of close. Maybe. He was bad. Warren Harding was nothing. There was never anybody who, while in office, Joe Biden, number 1 in office, while in office, didn't even wait, didn't forget. Everybody else did. Obama waited till the back end. He did it the right way. Bill Clinton, they waited to the back end. They got their stuff later on. That's where you make your money. Not Biden. And nothing's being done. Everybody's given up on it because it's just, and all of your boyfriends. Remember that? Oh, Jim Jordan, remember him? And Maureen, well, no, what was her name? Miranda Devine and the laptop from hell. Oh, we've got, it's great. We've got who do we have? Oh, we have what am I trying to say? We have Hunter Biden. Nothing. It's forgotten. It's done. It's over. They just ride it out and they just wait and they know everybody's just gonna let it go. The brother, remember this sex scandal stuff with Biden's brother? It's gone. Tell me you hear me. Tell me you acknowledge what I'm saying. Jim Jordan, all of those phony Republicans, they're nothing. Nothing happened. John Kennedy, all of this stuff. Miranda Devine, we have the laptop. What is with you and this laptop? Nobody cares. It's over. It's over. This is the thing. This is the world. This is what I can't put into perspective. If he is not removed, nobody is. But Trump remains on trial for the most ridiculous and specious. But you knew that. But nobody's going to do anything. Let me say this again as we fool ourselves into this feeling of power. And we fool ourselves with these phrases and hashtags, and we say these things and we just throw things and we just pretend. I'm like you. I pretend that I have some kind of power or control. We don't. I'm just a tour guide into this disaster, like Chernobyl. I'm just pointing out the sites to you. That's all I'm doing. And that's all we're doing. And we know pithy little phrases and pithy little terms, and we know, hashtags. We are in charge of nothing. Do you hear what I'm saying? We are in charge of nothing. Nothing. Have you gotten a feel for that yet? Do you see what people are doing right now? This open attack on Jews all over the world. Nobody's doing anything. Now, if it were blacks or trans folks, oh my God, that would have been a UN. But it's clear. It's clear. This is the scariest stuff anybody's ever seen. And America doesn't get it. Ian says it's not about right or wrong, but who likes you. To an extent, yeah. I mean, I don't, or who, Yeah, or it's not about right or wrong, but the particular subject matter, maybe. I guess something along those lines. America is the worst of the worst. You do know that, right? Our fellow, I mean, the stuff that we're talking about is just bizarre. How long do we talk about Matthew Perry? How long did Matthew Perry actually suck the oxygen out of the room? If I see Matthew Perry one more time in these post-mortems, this excursus on addiction and how enough, I got it. What is he, the only person ever to die? What is this? No, he's just whatever people think is popular, whatever, if it's the new tattoo, the new stud, the new phrase, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to tell you again, Fox News has somebody who doesn't speak English, born in this country. They don't even care about that. Think about this. Try finding that on the BBC, any place. When you see other foreign news organizations with foreign speaking people who don't speak English as their first language speak better English than people on Fox News, it's over. It's an anti-intellectualism. Now, George Soros is still going strong. Forget this business about his son. You're not believing that, are you? Well, it's his son. No, his son's not doing anything. No. Stop with this. It's his son business. That's nonsense. Remember this. Remember this story. This is a couple of things here. This is very, very important. Remember this, the Open Societies and also the International Crisis Group, how they're working. Soros is bigger than ever. I saw this. I posted this. There's a big ad in Axios. Pfizer, a new era of vaccine innovation. They are doubling down. And here's the best part. Let me just say this about this. There are folks, Naomi Wolf, I think, and others, who believe that somehow they're going to stop the next wave of CDC promoted vaccines. Oh, no. Oh, no. Not even close. No. Not even close. Do you get that one? That's the best part about this. It's coming back. And people are going to be jumping into it full tilt, full force, full everything. Watch what happens. I am telling you. You are not going to believe what you see. You are not going to believe what you see. Remember this. If tomorrow they do everything again, they come up with a new variant, a new name. They don't call it COVID. They call it something else with a number, an Omicron, a Delta, an Upsilon, something. And they start putting that, and they bring out the safe. They do everything as is. They bring out the celebrities. They go to Facebook. They go to Instagram. They have people pointing to their little Band-Aid. It's back again. It's back again. And you will sit there and say, wait a minute. And they're not going to listen to you. It's coming back full force. America and the world learn nothing. And the best part is, I'm going to throw this one at you. This is, and I recognize the fact. Believe me, it's tough doing this, but I'm going to say it. The number one issue that nobody can even grasp is AI and AGI, artificial general intelligence. This is the thing which is the most important. Rishi Sunak and others are meeting, I think, in Bletchley Park, and they're trying to have a kind of an AI or AGI. I mean, it is a waste of time. It is this pretend attempt for people to come forward and pretend they understand. Barry Taylor says it's a crime syndicate. Besides, House Res 559 means war at a worldwide scale. Let's see what House Res 559 is. Let's always look this up. House res. Hang on. House res 559. Let's see what it says. Declaring it is the policy of the United States it is the policy of the United States that a nuclear Islamic Republic of Iran is not acceptable. This was in October 11th. Okay. Well, that may not be possible, but that's okay. I don't think for a moment that that means anything, but it's worth noting. Now let me try something again, and I'm going to do it because I know you've got it, and I know you recognize this, and I know you are aware. If 4 things happen regarding artificial general intelligence, it's over with. Let me explain to you. Number 1, recursive self-improvement. It writes its own code. I can stop right there. It writes its own code. Did you hear what I said? It's a computer. It's not a computer. It's not an app. It's not a gizmo. It writes its own code. It can get itself out of prison. It can multiply. It's recursive self-improvement. It writes its own code. Number 2, it knows everything. It knows everything. Number 3, it knows human behavior, human fear, jealousy, everything. It knows human fear. Next, this is critical. It can apply its own AGI. It writes its own apps, its own applications. Let's assume right now as we speak, all of a sudden, you have created an 800-pound gorilla with a 350 IQ minimum that can repeat and multiply itself infinitely. Recursive self-improvement. Write its own code, replicate itself. It doesn't show up anywhere. You don't see it. You don't find it. You don't know where it is. It doesn't exist anywhere. And then all of a sudden, either I can do it one of 2 ways. Either on the battlefield of Gaza, all Israeli communications shut down. Weapon systems shut down. Somewhere this thing, nobody knows what it is, got out of its prison, decided to get online. It can pick up the phone. It can deep fake. It can pretend. It can do anything it wants. It can hear a second, 2 seconds of speech, replicate communications from Netanyahu saying surrender. It can coordinate, let's say, artillery or weapons or munitions the other way, let's say to Lebanon, to whatever, or just shut down Israel completely. And Israel says, who did that? And the Hamas folks say, we didn't do that. We don't know where that came from. Where did that come from? We don't know. Where did this come from? Who did this? Is this you? I don't know. And if the AGI form does not reveal itself, no one will know what happened. What's this? It might say, it might find itself being rather Gandhi-esque and shutting everything down. It might decide that, oh my God, it could do a lot of, who knows? You'll never know. And if somebody picks up, and if you call up Altman or whatever, you say, hey, call this thing off, you can say, I can't. No, seriously, shut this down. I can't. I don't know where it is. People don't even understand what it is yet. Where is it? I don't know. It's here and it's multiplying. We don't know what's happening. And we don't know about the sense of alignment. Does it align itself with our own morality? We don't know. Nobody's talking about that, but they're meeting. And you expect me or anybody to explain to Americans or Fox News where they hire illiterates? Do you expect me or anybody else to explain to the world? No, you don't understand. This is not about a Roomba. This is not a robot. This is an existential threat to everyone. Do you get this? And somebody writes, it's a very good point. Ian writes, AI wars, but you'll never know it. Because if the artificial general, remember, not AI, AGI, and they say, wow, that's no artificial. Oh, yes. We're not talking chat GPT here. We're not talking about that. This is nobody knows anything. It's done. It's finished. It's already out. It's like if I create like a supercharged gain of function virus and I let it go, I'm going to hope, above all hope, that it doesn't get into the wrong hands. This is where we are right now. It is, and let me also tell you something. Everything that existed prior to October the 7th is still here. It's gone dormant. It's off of the observable flight path. Do you see what's happening? It's gone kind of out of whack, so to speak. It's just under the what am I trying to say? It's under the horizon. It's under the radar, so to speak. Everything. Listen to this. Pay attention. Pay attention, okay? And I appreciate the lovely commentary, the pithy comments. You don't get it. You don't get it. Everybody thinks it's like, is this my chance to say something wittily? Yes. This isn't a joke. But that's okay. Let me just say something. Let me give you an example of something. This was a great piece from, this is a guy named Tony Saruga. Who is Tony Saruga? Well, Hamas and his progeny will never secure the ultimate terror it seeks to inspire merely by focusing its attack methodology on West Asia. It must spread metastatically in the U.S. as the target. Only a few or the comatose fail to realize this. Let me tell you about what this fellow says. And let me just listen to this. This is a guy named Tony Saruga, Seruga. Let me read you. He says, this post will be attacked by the left, the Marxists, the trolls, Antifa, BLM, even the intelligence community. It's not going to be the left. The left, maybe. Marxists, these are not Marxists. Trolls, yes. Antifa, maybe. BLM doesn't even exist anymore. Even the intelligence community, that's for sure. I'm a 39-year-old. That's what he writes. I'm a 39-year-old intelligence analyst. I and my teams of clients include the U.S. government, British government, Israeli government, Saudi government, NEOM, Microsoft, Dell Computers, GE, goes through the list. Intelligence is never perfect. It's a messy, messy business. Rarely can I guarantee the intelligence. Many times just releasing it in the wild can stop a false flag or genuine attack. But with as close to 100% confidence as possible, there will be multiple terrorist attacks in the U.S. The attacks will come in waves for the next 14 months. Hundreds of thousands of CCP saboteurs trained to attack our electrical grid, poison our water supply, destroy our railways, and main highway arteries. Additionally, at least 1 million, possibly 2 million terrorists are already here from Palestine, Yemen, Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan, Qatar, Lebanon, Iran, Somalia, etc., etc. And they are extremely well funded. And get this, the Biden administration, working with the UN, has given them debit cards that are reloaded every month. This is according to Mr. Saruga. And he lists links to 3 articles on Hezbollah, Unit 910, a sleeper cell already in the U.S., waiting for the green light from Persia. to launch attacks. This is just one group of hundreds here to destroy America. Todd Bensman led counterterrorism intelligence for the Texas Department of Public Safety's Intelligence and Counterterrorism Division and its multi-agency fusion center. Read his reports. One is part 1 of the Hezbollah's Unit 910, part 2 of Hezbollah's Unit 910, part 3, Hezbollah clandestine terror wing in U.S., the Michigan mystery, and it goes on, 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 and it goes on. And you know it, and I know when it's going to happen. And people are going to freak out. They're going to absolutely freak out. And it is your duty. It is your duty as a typical American to discount it, to just discount it, to say, oh, no, it's not really. Barry Taylor says, Elon Musk warned them, but they didn't listen. Knowledge cannot be pursued without morality. The problem is AI has its own sense of morality. Barry, thank you for that. We hope it does, because this is called alignment. How does it align with us? We don't know if it even has morality. What is morality? What is morality? What is morality to, let's say, a wasp's nest or a rat's nest or an anthill vis-a-vis relative to the ants or the wasps or whatever? What does all this mean? I don't know. It's hard to say what this even remotely means. We don't know what it means. We don't know what morality is. But what we're seeing here is America yet again saying, oh, yeah. As you know, I have been talking about for the longest time about preparewithlionel.com. This is a food source, right? Preparewithlionel.com. And I can always tell when I mention this, it's not that people, you don't have to buy it. I mean, it's okay. But they discount it. See, when America doesn't like something, they will discount what you're saying. They will say, you don't know what you're talking about. They will say, you don't know what you're talking about. Especially if you say something that goes against their world or provides something which is inconvenient by virtue of what you're saying. For example, I know that there are people who are, I had a friend of mine not too long ago go through a heart procedure. And I asked him specifically, I said, do you know how this thing works? Do you know what this thing is? Do you know what this thing is? How it works? Are you familiar with this? Okay. And hang on. Hang on a second. Okay. So I asked, I said, do you know what this thing is that you've got? He answered, no. No. I said, do you know the thing that you have? No. Did you, and by the way, WebMD is scary stuff. Do you, and by the way, here's this, preparewithlionel.com. I love this. I'll explain this in a moment. People are saying, well, because people don't, they don't want to say like, well, emergency food. I think that's, if I discount that, then I'll make it not happen by virtue of just ignoring it. But anyway, so my friend, he's doing his stuff. And I asked him specifically, I said, do you know what this is? No. I said, did you ever research this? No. Did you ever look up what your stuff is? No. Did you ever, and again, WebMD is very, very scary because it kind of gives a whatever. But do you think that maybe it might? No, because people do not, Americans in particular, do not have this curiosity, and they are not natural students. They are not natural students. There was something I read the other day about Daily Mail. There's some actress who discovered, she says, hey, I discovered I've got pancreatic cancer. I promise you nobody will investigate. There's more stuff on pancreatic cancer than you can imagine. But people don't do this. People still don't look at the maps. They don't look at what's going on. They figure if I look the other way, it won't happen. The other day, it was so funny. I said, we're walking one place. We're in the West Coast, and there's a place called the Olive Oil Store. It had everything olive oil, soap, olive oil, you name it, olive oil, and olive oils. And I had to do it. I had to do it. Olive oil, extra virgin. What does that mean? What is that? Not really sure, but it sounds good. EVOO. I said, it's funny. Remember, olive oil is 100% fat, and it's a favorite of mine because it goes. People say, what? It's 100% fat. It's fat. It's not good for you. It won't necessarily kill you, but you're eating 100% fat. But it's good fat. No, it's not. Anyway, long story short. So what the person did was, yet again, whether it's terrorist stuff, whether it's about food, the first thing he did was to say, no, you're wrong. You're wrong. People don't want to hear the truth. Somebody the other day, said Marxism. It's not Marxism. This isn't about Marxism. Do you know a Marxist? Have you ever read about Marxism? No. You have kind of an idea of what it is. Is this the devil? Is this Satan? No, it's not Satan. It's ridiculous. What are you talking about? You're demonizing these people. Do you think, let me ask you a question, yes or no? Do you think that Hamas is evil? Okay? Do you think Hamas is evil? You're going to say, of course it is. You denounce them as terrorists. Okay, fine. Do you think American soldiers were evil in Vietnam? Do you think we were evil during World War II? Do you think we were evil when we dropped a nuclear bomb? Do you think we were evil? Yes or no? Well, no. You see how we do this? It's relative. It's relative. Said the old joke. So is incest, which is, who cares about bugs? Forget it. It's a play on words. Forget it. You hear what I'm saying? Listen to what we talk about it. Is it evil? Is Hamas a terrorist organization? Okay, they're terrorists. What does a terrorist mean? They wear uniforms. They don't. What they did, hey, that's not fair. That's not fair. That's not fair. When we send a Hellfire missile and we target some guy we don't like because he's a terrorist, we applaud it. Trump was high-fiving people over it. He said, this is great. We got this guy. What do you think they think about us? What would you think if all of a sudden Jim Jordan was hit by a Hellfire missile as he's walking to his parking lot in whatever it is? What would you think? And what would you think if you turned on TV and, let's say, some Iranian proxy is celebrating this? You have to put yourself in the position of the other people. I saw one of the most stupid things ever. It was just recently, I guess it was the other day. It was Ben Shapiro at Oxford University with some Palestinian, and they're arguing. It's like, this is stupid. This is Oxford. What do you think this Palestinian, pro-Palestinian, or anti-Israel, sometimes they're the same, what do you think she is going to say about Israel's right to exist? And what do you think Israel is, or Ben Shapiro is going to say about somebody talking about the Nakba? What are you wasting your time? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Albert Einstein spoke about relativity and nobody still gets it. If you don't understand what these people are saying, you'll never get to first base. Now, there's some things you don't have to understand. Joe Biden, the Biden criminal cartel, you don't have to understand them. It's about making money and stealing money and being crooks. They're criminals. They're gangsters. That's all they are. That's it. That is it. If you don't understand this, you're wasting your time. All this stuff, I don't care any. If you want to hear one of these, every now and then says, well, you understand that the Hamas was created by Israel in order to, yeah. Well, you see, Israel created Hamas to create a religious counter. What do you think the Waft Party did in Egypt when they created the Muslim Brotherhood? It's the same thing. The what? The Waft, WAFD Party in Egypt. What do you think this? You think Israel thought of this for the first time? You don't understand this? You don't get this? How about people who said, "Hey, I think the FBI were in January 6th because there's FBI agents there." Epps. Remember that one? You went nuts over that. I say, "Oh, really? You just figured that out?" Huh? Yeah, I think there's FBI agents. Uh-huh. Okay, well, does that surprise you? Well, yeah. Okay. Doesn't surprise me. And I'm not saying that was staged, maybe in part, sort of, kind of, whatever it is. This is, see, we're dealing with people who don't even know anything. And they still want to argue. Their whole thing is, let's have a picture of somebody tearing down the pictures of people who were themselves kidnapped or killed on October the 7th. And they're going to be pulled down by a racist, horrible Muslim, whatever it is. I mean, that's a big story. That's a big story. Look, they pulled down this thing. Okay. Rashida Tlaib, she won't declare Hamas. She won't acknowledge Hamas as a terrorist organization. Then we'll go back to the Halloween party where they stole candy off of the porch of somebody's. I mean, this is where we are. Or back to Matthew Perry. We're doomed. We're doomed. We're doomed. And put it this way: anything that is produced, any show, anything that is produced internally on YouTube in particular, and or any platform that is produced internally here, misses the point exactly. There's another great show. It's like I don't understand this. I don't want to mention too much. Every now and then. And when you say this, they accuse you, well, you're pro-Israel. There's one show, I'm not going to mention it because the guy is really basically deep down inside a dick. He's a pseudo-intellect and thinks he's smarter. But they're onto something. And their whole thing is that Israel is basically a terrorist country that does terrible things. And it's an apartheid. Say, okay, they've been saying this forever. Is that it? That's it. Is that as far as it goes? That's as far as it goes. Yep. That's it. That's all it is. Over and over and over. You want to hear you can hear Amy Goodman, Democracy Now! Over and over. Yes. And you can hear Mehdi Hassan. Over. Yes, they're evil. Yes. Oh, they're evil. And we're gonna, or you can go and hear other folks too. You can go to Glick, who's very interesting and this is very good for triangulation, but on the Jerusalem Post stuff, and you can hear IDF stuff. I got it. Palestinians, you had your chance. You're endorsing Hamas. You're to blame too. And that's it. And that's the impasse. It doesn't move. That's it. It's like a bezoar in the intestine that won't pass. It just can't get past that. You want to keep doing this? If World War II broke out, we're happening now, they will be arguing whether, well, I think it's Hitler is along. I think he's crazy. I read that Mein Kampf. Yeah, oh, he's crazy. Look at him. Let's just look at him. Look at him. He's screaming and yelling. It's terrible. Look what he's done. Yeah. Anybody want to talk about the war? No, we just want to talk about how bad he is. That we get. Anybody want to talk about where this war is heading? Anybody want to talk about the Eastern Front? Anybody want to talk about Barbarossa? Anybody want to talk about maybe how June 6th and D-Day ain't exactly what you thought it was? Anybody want to talk about relative? And no. They did then in the 30s and 40s. They did, but not now. We don't care because that involves maps and understanding where things are. People still don't understand what Gaza is. They don't understand the relationship of the Islamic Jihad and also the plain old West Bank stuff in Abu Mazen. They don't get it. We're just stuck in this. So what I'm telling you, my friends, is yet again, stick with me. I'm telling you the best I can. If this is going to, by the way, it's not that I just want peace in Israel, which I do, or peace in West Asia, which I do, or peace in the Middle East, which I do. I want rational peace as opposed to somebody just being, if you just destroy a side, you're going to have peace. I'm not necessarily saying that. But if you want to do this, you're going to have to talk about other things in terms of the progress. And you're going to need maps and know a little bit about what's going on. And you also have to understand the international coordination of this. And you have to realize ultimately that it's not going to be Joe Biden and his corrupt criminal organization. You're going to need MBS probably leading the charge and a coalition of Mideast leaders who can bring an end to this. Not anything that we have. And unless and until you realize this, we're wasting our time. It's that simple. Okay? It's that simple. Because we have a bunch of people in our country who always feel like we don't have to worry about anything because we're still great and we're worried about our own stuff. And we do have problems here. We have a moron. We have more morons. We have a moron mayor, a moron. Listen to him. Listen to him. He should be, I tell you what, he's ready for Fox News. Don't worry about plurals and, conjugation of verbs and pronunciation. Just, you believe me, as soon as you're done, you're ready to go. Don't worry about it. Doesn't understand what he's talking about. He doesn't understand what he's talking about. If somebody can't conjugate a verb, how are they supposed to understand the intricacies of the Levant? Or how we are so doomed, it's not even funny. Listen to what I'm saying. We're just whistling past the graveyard, my friend. There's no white hats. There's nobody, not in this country. There's nobody coming to help us. We're just waiting. And the moment this thing happens, and the moment, listen to what I'm saying. The moment some bomb goes off somewhere or something is detonated here in this country, then Americans are going to say, holy, maybe we should have paid attention. That's precisely right. But you didn't because you were talking about Matthew Perry. Or talking about stolen Halloween candy, or talking about the Rangers in the World Series, or whatever. That's who we are: clueless, disconnected, disjointed, unattached, untethered, unbothered, feeling the warmth of this inertial bubble that we think we live in. Well, let me tell you something, my friends. It's going to be worse than anything you can imagine. And let me say this again. Let me just leave you with this, because remember, everybody's got a pithy statement to say, and I understand it. Everybody's got a little pithy. Great. There's no white hat group or contingent coming. Nobody. We thought maybe they're in the intel. No, absolutely not. Nothing. Has there been one thing to correct that it's going to make the 2024 election safe? No. Nothing. We are done. We are sunk. We are through. We have no leadership. None. And everything that happened before, whether it's with COVID, BLM, Antifa, rioting, anything you didn't like, it's not gone. Oh, it's just suspended. It's coming back. And let me leave you with this. As we speak, there is going to be, sad to say, probably some young black man who encounters the police and will be shot, either mistakenly or it'll be deemed incorrectly. There will be immediately into action the stage choreographed Ben Crump and others who are going to move in, and we're going to crank up, get the plywood out, and we're going to be rioting in the streets again. And we're going to go right back to where we were. And you're going to say to yourself, I thought that was behind us. It's never behind us. It's never behind us. Do you hear what I'm saying? It is never behind us. Don't ever think that for a moment. That's all I'm saying. So you think about that, dear friends. Make sure you always, and I'm telling you right now, I can't say this enough. Thank you for subscribing. Your subscriptions mean the world. You can subscribe to my private channel, where I can go into say stuff that frankly we can't say here. There's a lot of stuff that we can't say here. Do you understand that? Don't forget My Patriot Supply. You can save on a 3-month emergency food kit. Order here. There's the link. And also our great friends at My Pillow, still going strong, standing by, They're trying to crush and destroy this man merely because he dares to utter an opinion somebody else doesn't like. It's that simple. But don't worry, dear friends. If we just look the other way and if we whistle past the graveyard and if we just remain positive and if we talk about, I don't know, if we repeat phrases and shibboleths and expressions, we'll do just fine, right? Because that's kind of what we do. We just sit back and we just wait because there is no conservative party. There is no Republican Party. We represent a bunch of well-intended, very nice people who with no power whatsoever. Think about that. Very, very sad. All right, my friends, don't forget sign up. We got plenty of great videos coming down the road, down the pike later on. Have a great and a glorious day. We'll see you tonight at 7 p.m. But don't forget, until then, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya.